Okay. So now let's try to understand how do we calculate the accounts receivable balances, or basically the I can say ledger account of accounts receivable, or basic calculations. So let's take the example of Amazon Incorporation, where Amazon wants to determine its ending gross accounts receivable balance to report in the balance sheet. They want to report the balance sheet and they want to know what is their gross accounts receivable. They are telling that their beginning AR balance as on January was 400,000. Now this is entire amount which is owed to Amazon. Amazon will be receiving this 400,000. Now they are saying that they are doing the credit sales during year 8 on 1.5 million, which is here, which is new amounts owed from selling goods on credit. They have sold this goods for 1.5 million. After that, they are saying they have done certain collections of cash, which is 1.35 million. Now this cash may belong to this and this as well. Why? Because Amazon sold goods and they still need to receive this 400,000. They again sold goods on credit and they still needs to receive 1.5 million. So out of those two credit sales, the money they received is here, which is 1.35 million as of now. And finally they are saying they are doing certain write-off, which is like they won't be receiving the cash from the debtors because they are either bedded or out of business or any other reason. So it's $50,000, which is specific customer accounts deemed uncollectible. Now how do we prepare their accounts? So we can simply say their opening balance or beginning balance was $400,000, which is given here. Then there is a credit sales of 1.5 million, which we can say the credit sales is here, which is 1.5 million. And effectively, if we add this $400,000 and 1.5 million, we can say our total credit sales was 1.9 million. Now after that, we have received a cash of 1.35 million dollars here, you can say. So we received this 1.35 million, so we need to subtract that. And finally we need to write off, meaning this money won't be received again. So this $50,000 which we wrote off, so we need to reduce that here as well. So we are saying this needs to be subtracted. So when we subtract both of these items from 1.9 million dollars, then the correct amount, the calculation error is here. This is not the correct amount. So let me just calculate, although the calculation is easy, but yeah, so it's like 1.9 million, and from that we need to reduce 1.35 million, and then we need to reduce 50,000 here, right? So this calculation is actually right. I earlier thought that this was wrong, but yeah, this calculation is right, which is $500,000. So this balance is the total closing balance, which we can see that we still need to receive from our customers. So what this is saying, that the closing balance calculation, the missing figure is the ending balance here, which was the closing balance calculated by taking the subtotal and subtracting all credits. So how do we calculate the closing balance? If you see the equation or formula or whatever you call it, so we take the opening balance, which is our beginning balance, which we saw, then we take the credit sales here, then we reduce, we minus here the credit cash collections, and finally we minus the write-offs. So this situation gives us the closing balance for our accounts receivable. Here if we saw the above example, our opening balance was $400,000, or I can say credit opening was 400,000. Then we sold on credit 1.5 million, and then 1.35 million we cash collected, and we have the write-off of $50,000, giving us the ending AR balance of $500,000. Now Amazon will be reporting this $500,000 is in its gross accounts receivable account on 31st of December year 8 in the balance sheet, and that is what they wanted. Now let's see the same thing, account statement for accounts receivable, what is in the textbook. So textbook again simply says we need to take our opening balance, then we need to add it by increasing the activity. If the sales are increasing, which we will be increasing. If the sales are decreasing or less, then we will be reducing. But in effect, this is increases, then we call that as a subtotal or the total credit sales. After that, if we received certain cash, we will be reducing that. If there are certain write-offs, we will be reducing that, and finally we will be saying that this is our ending balance or the closing balance. Now I hope you understand this.